So before I get started into our little intro here, a little confession to make. We recorded 18 minutes of this episode, and I realized that my mic wasn't working. So, um, yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the SleepyCatFilms Official Podcast. I'm your host, Logan Murray. Today, I'm visited by the cast and showrunner of a show I'm looking forward to next year. Going down our lineup here, we have someone who I'm extremely excited to have here. From Second Shout Studios, you may know her as the voice of Supergirl, but in Gotham City Sirens, she plays Poison Ivy. Welcome to the podcast, Alice Rose.
Thanks for having me.
Next, we have our Batgirl turned Oracle herself. Here you were thinking she was just another bubble-headed blonde bimbo, despite her very red hair. Abby Torrance.
Oh, a bimbo I am.
Thanks for having me.
Returning from last week, we have the tremendously talented Kiyla Wallace.
Hello.
And newcomer to Sleepy Cat Films, writer-director Braelyn Mueller. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Alright, so finally, actually recording my voice this time. Let's get into it. So we're gonna start with an introduction to each of you, whoever wants to go first, free flowing, but kind of talk about, your experience with this character, your experience with acting. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
I vote Barbara as tribute.
Okay, mean. I'll be the tribute, I suppose. So, hi everyone. My name is Abby. I am mainly a musical theater actress, and I'm a character actor, so I do a little bit of bizarre extra performances. But I'm very new to the voice acting scene, and this is maybe my third or fourth project I've been working on, so I'm very excited. And I'm vaguely familiar with the DC universe. I'm a big fan of especially all the Sirens. Poison Ivy was my first crush ever, so yay. But I'm so excited to be working with Harley and trying to give a different spin on her because there's so many great Harleys out in the universe, and so this is very, very exciting. And yeah, other than that, I'm excited to see what I can do with the different vocal inflections. I'm excited to see what I could do to kind of do the stark differences between Barbara and Harley Quinn, just because those are very, very different characters. And yeah, I'm excited to learn a little bit more about DC because my extent is through my friend Nat, Holy Musical Batman, and the Lego Batman video games. So I'm excited.
Well, at least those are fantastic introductions. Alright, so I guess whoever wants to go next with a little bit of an introduction to, again, your experience as an actor, and your interest and experience with your character.
I volunteer my best friend, Poison Ivy, please.
Well, fine. My name is Alice Rose. I did the math. I've been acting for 15 years, voice acting for 5. I've been a producer for 2. My degree is in theater and performance, and I did a stint with the Stella Adler Conservatory in New York. So I've got a little bit of experience, just a touch. But with DC, I don't have much at all. I have a bunch of friends that have loved DC over the years, so I've gotten some osmosis. Obviously, I know of the iconic characters that we're assembled here with today. But mostly my fascination with the part is from a psychological perspective. I joke sometimes that my fallback degree, if I didn't get into acting school, would have been psychology, because I absolutely love getting into characters' heads. I
definitely repeating myself from the recording we just did, but when I was at Stella Adler, a huge thing that we would talk about is the humanity that everyone has and how no one is a villain just to be a villain, just to be evil, just to do bad things. They all have a motivation, a reason. They all think they're doing the right thing. And that is one of the reasons I'm really excited to take on this role, because this, I mean, I haven't read it yet, but I get the feeling that it's not just three bad bitches being bad bitches. I think it's three bad bitches kicking ass and taking names and trying to do the right thing. So I'm very excited to be one of said bitches and play with these bitches. Love these bitches.
All right. Well, I guess next we have Kiyla. If you'd like to talk a little bit about your love for Catwoman and your kind of take on her.
My admiration for a bad bitch who knows her way around a glass window. Absolutely. As I've said, and I'm probably gonna get sick of repeating this eventually, I've had a love for Catwoman since I was
Just a little baby.
and I love the way she conducts herself. I love the turmoil her character goes through, although my knowledge on DC is, apparently it's a trend, very, very scarce. The most of my knowledge surrounds Catwoman, surrounds what she does, surrounds who she is. And I've always found the complexity of her character, the fact how she's neither here nor there completely. She doesn't always stay in one place. She's never stagnant. She's constantly flowing. And I love that about her character, because a lot of what I find in DC, with no matter where you look, whether it's the bats, the lanterns, the sea folk, they always have a set where they're placed, what they do, what their goal is. I've noticed Selina's more of a nomad. She comes, she goes, she stays, she leaves. There's a lot of push and pull, and I love getting into what causes that, and I love how she handles situations, and I love that a lot of her goals are self-serving, but also can benefit others. She's very flexible in who she aligns herself with.
For sure.
Conclusion.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. All right, and then Braelyn, if you want to give the people a little bit of an introduction to you.
I'm Braelyn. I've been acting since I was in middle school, and writing has always been a hobby for me since I don't know how long. And I'm really excited to be taking these characters and writing them and seeing how these actors bring them to life.
Absolutely. So I guess one of the things that I kind of want to talk about with you guys, just, with going down this free flow idea that you guys actually made me think of, kind of talking about the show. And again, I know that most of you guys haven't read the unfinished pilot yet, but I do want to kind of talk a little bit about in the show, what to expect, kind of what your interests and ideas are with where you guys want to take these characters, maybe what projects you'd be interested in seeing your characters in, without maybe giving some spoilers on if you are in a project right now. So yeah, I guess whoever wants to go first, kind of talking a bit about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, I don't know much of the established canon. So a lot of what I'm going to learn is going to be through my own research. I've done some research just sitting here listening to you fine people, and I'm always learning, but I am excited to figure out more about her and how she ticks. Of course, everyone has seen the Uma Thurman version, but I know that she is one of many. But just kind of, respecting tradition while also making her my own. Yeah, I don't know what else I would know to anticipate. I mean, I know, Abby, we're meeting for the first time today. We're probably going to be flirting a lot. But my fiance's not home. So so it's going to be great.
I mean, I think something that's really interesting is I feel like our show, you're kind of the audience is introduced through Ivy's eyes. And Braelyn can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like she's kind of the ensemble, she is really our lead.
100%.
And I think that that's really interesting because of the interactions that you get from these characters, and how, again, when we weren't recording, well, when we were recording, but my voice wasn't being recorded, I mentioned a scene at the beginning of the pilot, which really kind of encapsulates the beginning of Ivy's arc, which is understanding that being in a relationship, friendship, romantic, otherwise, that if somebody isn't in it in the same way that you are, that something needs to change. And how kind of moving on from that is important instead of staying in it. And I feel like that's really Ivy's arc throughout the series. So I'm really excited to see that unfold.
Yeah, that's definitely something I can relate to.
So I guess whoever wants to go next.
I'll go ahead. So, something I'm very, very excited about is that this is the first bisexual character I've ever gotten to play in my life. And I am a bisexual femme, so I'm so excited to actually be able to like draw on things that I actually experience and things that I've never gotten to channel in any of my stage work before or my character work. And I am very nervous also about it, just because like it's something that I've never had to do in a performance setting, and it's going to be interesting, and I'm excited to learn just more about myself and more about Harley Quinn in general, and just see what I can do with that and how I can find parts that I really resonate with and make that shine through Harley's perspective as well. That aside, I really would love to see an arc, and forgive me if this is already an arc out there, but I would love to see Harley Quinn like get over the Joker at some point, just because I it would just be cool, because I always associate her with having this like having the Joker on a pedestal, and I would love to see her grow and get out of that and find something else and find something better. And yeah, I'm very curious to see what the series does with it and see what we create and what dynamics we skid into and figure out.
I think something that because we talked a little bit about our iteration of Harley in this universe. And obviously I think they did do something similar to that in Injustice, but it kind of flashes forward from that. And I think seeing Harley's change is interesting and would be really interesting to see, because obviously the Joker doesn't love her, right? And I think that that's what makes their dynamic so interesting, is he's abusive, and she's a means to an end for him, but he still feels the sense of like ownership over her. So I think that, like, kind of, without going into too much detail, and spoiling anything for the listeners, yeah, I think that it's really exciting, the arc that Harley, will be going on throughout our universe.
Yes. Leave the toxic man.
Take him to the curb, darling.
Honestly,
So,
fuck Jared Leto.
absolutely.
He's so cute.
I second. Fuck Jared Leto.
Harley needs an eye doctor, apparently.
Yeah, we had this conversation during rehearsal one time where Abby finds Jared Leto's Joker attractive.
What can I say?
We all make mistakes, darling. Don't worry.
We'll get
I
you some
really think
therapy.
I could fix him. I could fix him, okay?
Darling, the only thing you're fixing is the therapist you'll need to go to.
Maybe you could fix his SoundCloud account.
Joker the SoundCloud rapper.
Oh.
So, Kiyla, I guess going to you.
Yeah.
Let's talk. I guess you talk a little bit about where you're coming at. What direction you're wanting for Catwoman. And yeah,
I'm actually the most unsure about where Catwoman is going to go. I know how she starts. I like how she starts in the pilot. I just don't. I'm nervous for the singular point of this is how she starts. This is her use in this arc. But is it going to be a struggle to figure out where she goes after that? How will she slot in around these two is what I'm curious to figure out. Because yeah, it's like a puzzle, but the puzzle is a liquid. It fits here, but when you add another element, it no longer completely fits, so you have to find a bigger container. And that is a puzzle that I like, and I'm looking forward to it.
I have a feeling that early on in the season, people won't like Selena. That's my
They
gut
won't.
feeling. But I think that people will come around. And Braelyn,
Most of
if
the
you
people
want to
I know
kind of
don't like Selena.
Braelyn, if you want to talk a little bit about your ideas for Selena without going into too much detail.
My biggest thing with Selena is that she is such a loner, and I'm really excited to do that while mixing her with the team. And I have some ideas for her growth, but I also don't think it's going to be what everybody expects completely.
I think that that's kind of the best direction that you can go, considering where we do start with Selena. I think that building in a direction where the audience maybe understands a little bit more of where she's coming from, why she does what she does. I think that maybe the audience will have a better understanding of her point of view. You were going to say something, Braelyn?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, I think that's with a lot of the characters, is that, like Alice said, all these characters do something because of something else. It's not just because they are just going out and hitting people. It's they have a reason, they have a goal. And with Selena, I'm really excited to write how all three of the characters' goals are going to interact.
Absolutely. I think with the exception of the Joker, I think that's what makes most DC villains so dynamic, is that they are hurt people who come from who they're just like Batman, right? Batman turned his hurt into beating the shit out of criminals. And these criminals turn their pain or how they view an issue into their villainy. Ivy is an eco-terrorist who who views humanity as the problem to the environment, which isn't wrong, but how she's going about dealing with it by killing off humanity is pretty bad. Harley is in love, and she's driven by her love, and it drove her insane. So she's extremely smart. She was a doctor. She still has a level of, sanity that is hidden behind rose-tinted glasses at the Joker. And I think understanding that is kind of important to understanding her character. Selina is a loner. And Selina grew up poor. So Selina kind of falling for Batman and everything is just so much. It's such a change for her character, and that's her arc. Kind of is understanding that versus Harley. It's kind of the opposite arc where she goes, "I'm not alone," and I think that that's what makes all three of their characters so interesting. At least how I view it. All right, so I guess we talked about your views on the characters, your interest in the characters, your love for the characters. I kind of want to talk about what you guys are kind of drawing from for your characters. So I feel like Abby has something to say.
Sure. No, I love this question. So I think like in a literal sense, for voice wise, I'm obviously drawing a lot from like Betty Boop with that little high pitched, cheeky, cute little Boston accent. But and also just the other Harley Quinns. Just I love how cheeky her voice is. It sounds so good. But yeah, I'm trying to do that as best I can without like replicating. So that's what I'm doing just vocal wise. But character wise, I'm really going for like just unabashedly crazy, but so confident in it that it doesn't feel crazy in her own head. Which I draw a lot from my own personal experiences. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I don't want to draw too much from the other representations of Harley Quinn, just because I don't want to be doing the exact same thing that everyone else has been doing, or I don't want to be like a Margot Robbie, or I don't want to be just exactly the same as everyone else. So a lot of it is, I think I'm going off of just where the plot is taking and trying to stick with that, the really good description that you said, Logan, of having her, she is very, very smart and intelligent, but she has this kind of like youthful revertigo. That's a word, sure. Like going back to when she's with the Joker, she kind of just becomes a little bit of a kid at heart because she's so in love, and it's honestly very sweet, and it's also very frustrating, and I think she knows that. So kind of playing off of those themes and playing off of those aspects that like I've experienced in my own life, I'm sure everyone has like dated someone who is not the best person, and they've had similar vibes. So pulling from that, I think, is going to be a very fun way of making her a full fleshed out character, but still unique enough that it's not overplayed.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna one day I'm gonna stop pulling the noob excuse. But most of what I'm
today.
Today is not that day. Most of what I'm pulling for is like classic seductresses. I've been reading the Wikipedia page for Poison Ivy while we've been hanging out, so I've learned a lot today.
She's using a cheat sheet. Get her.
I'm cheating. I'm definitely cheating. So I have learned a lot today. But I see that she has this absolute like fire and passion, and that's something that I relate to very deeply. In my senior thesis meeting, the teacher said the two words that describe me best is passion and rage. So I can pull from that. But also I have played seductresses before. I've played Morticia Adams. I do a D&D podcast with my friends where my character has this very like seductive, flirtatious front, but you kind of see that that's a mask for her own insecurities. So I have played that kind of a role before. And actually, she has almost the same voice that I'm using for Ivy. So it's a familiar space for me to be in, which is great. But she's also got all this like ridiculous amount of care in her. Which, hey, I'm known as the mom friend often. So I get going fucking apeshit for someone that you care about a lot. I've got siblings, I've got a fiance, I've got like a whole bunch of really close people that I would absolutely go berserk for. So there are definitely a lot of things that I can pull from in my life and other parts that I've played that I hope and I think will lend themselves very well to portraying Ivy.
Awesome. Yeah, I so funny thing when it came to Ivy, immediately I think you were my first choice to go to. Because
I don't know if that's a compliment or
well, I was like, so the tough thing when it comes to and this is actually gonna, so I'm not gonna say too much, but how I casted everybody here was unique, and definitely I think very different than a lot of other roles. Traditionally I have people read directly for the character, but we'll get into it. So I guess the next question is how did you come across being casted for your characters? Before you answer that, I'll give you guys some time to think about that. Braelyn, how do you feel about the fact that I had casted everybody before you had started writing?
I just got to meet these people today, and when I tell you, immediately I saw your vision for them, and I'm so excited to see how they bring these characters to life, because I can see them doing amazing, and the personalities and the voices are amazing.
You can't see it, but I'm doing a dramatic bow.
Oh yeah, I'm holding up hand hearts.
But yeah. So I guess whoever wants to answer my question about how you were casted and your, I guess, where you went from there when it came to understanding the character. Because we obviously already went about, like, you know, what your guys' ideas of the characters are, but, you know, your steps taking towards those characters. I'm just interested in kind of hearing your guys' process a little bit.
I mean, as far as like the epic of how I got casted, I found you on Filmbind, a Discord server, and I've been cast for so many things over the probably been almost a year now that I've been in the server. And one day you're like, hey, could you like give me a couple sample lines? Here's a voice clip that I'm kind of going for. And you liked what I sent back through my shitty phone mic on my lunch break at work. So that's good. But from there, especially when it's well-established characters, I actually find it a blessing in disguise that I don't know them very well. Because as I think Abby mentioned, I don't want to do a caricature of someone else's work. I think that's the kiss of death when you're doing a well-known character is, if I'm trying to do an Uma Thurman impression, that's not going to work. If Abby tries to do a Margot Robbie impression, that's not going to work. We have to do our own interpretation of the character. So I mentioned I read through the Wikipedia page so that I know some of the lore, but most of my study is going to start when I get the final script, because I'm trying to figure out who this version of Ivy is.
Right.
I'm not figuring out who, as a whole, she is. I'm figuring out Sleepy Cat Films, Poison Ivy, and what her deal is. So that's most of my process.
Absolutely.
How did I get cast? I think it was because I was working with y'all on Grayson, which is a different little series that's going to be coming out. And I was playing Barbara Gordon. And I think we were just doing a comic read, and there was a bit where Harley Quinn was in it. And I think I just started doing it just because I love her cheeky little voice and I wanted to try it. And then we did, like, a couple days later, we had a different reading, and Logan's like, do you want to try reading for Harley? And I'm like, absolutely, I would love to try it. And the rest is history as far as I remember.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I just went in with the weirdest voice I could throw out there. And like I'm so glad I did, because it's such a different role than I've been given, which is so shocking compared to the Everything About Me. But like a lot of my roles that I've played in the past have been like a motherly role or like an Oracle-esque role. So having like an insane, cheeky, weird villain to try and portray, even for like a couple of scenes, I was like, oh, let's go. And it was so much fun. So just the way I've been approaching her in the meantime is just like having fun with it and finding the fun in like regular day-to-day things and trying to channel that little cheeky weirdness even more than I already do as a normal human being. And that's just made it all the better. So I'm having a great time with her.
Yeah, after we had read that, Edward, who plays Nightwing in Grayson, was actually the person who we thought it at the same time pretty much. We were like, oh, we have to cast this person as Harvey. Because I think so on last episode on the podcast, I talked about a experience that I had where I had to fire the actress who was originally going to play Harley because of some behind the scenes drama and stuff like that. And I honestly think it was one of the best choices I've made, because while I think their personality very much, when acting, very much reflected the character, I think that you just encapsulate the voice that I wanted. I like that you're not trying to replicate Arlene Sorkin or Tara Strong or Margot Robbie. You're kind of doing your own thing and coming at it from your own mindset, and it's I think it's a very strong actor thing that she couldn't really understand, which was you're not trying to replicate the voice of the character. You're trying to interpret the character and play that version of the character and do that version of the character justice. So, yeah. It's awesome.
Thank you, Puddin'.
All right, and I guess that leaves Kiyla to talk a little bit about casting for Catwoman, which is
So this is a story and a half. So I briefly touched on it. Wow, my accent is really accenting. So basically, after I had auditioned for Corey and yada yada yada, we started doing that history is on the other podcast, by the way. After that, we started doing comic book reads, and we started to read Hush specifically. And I remember we were reading chapters and chapters and chapters, and I had to reread. I took on Selena for the comic read, and I found that personally, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed voice acting for Selena, especially in tandem with TJ, who voices Bruce. And I found that getting into her role was really comfortable, and I didn't want to let that go. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to let that go because playing her felt so natural to me. I wasn't really thinking of emulating another voice actor. I wasn't really consciously thinking about it like Abby and Alice were. I just wanted to take the iterations that I had already heard, sounds somewhat similar, and just do the character justice. Because I've never wanted to be an impressionist. That's not what I do. When people say, oh, you're a voice actor, that means you do this voice, I'm like, no, that's an impressionist. There is a difference. Voice acting is an art, impression is a skill. And so I kind of took that liberty and I took that space and I made it a little nest for myself, even if to me at the time it would be as temporary as that comic was. And then Logan sits in another comic read session and he hears that voice, and then 2 days after, hey, do you want this role? Like it's a backyard deal that you don't want to be busted by the cops. He's like, do you want to play Selena? Do you want to play Catwoman? And I'm just there like, hello? What happened to hi, how are you? Yes, I'll take that role. And then and then he takes me to through this idea that he has. This idea of Gotham City Sirens, and I'm just sat there drawing on my PC while he writes, and then we go through it for the first time. And then that was a moment that I don't think I'll be able to forget. Just because it was that same day, I believe. And
yeah. Well,
yeah,
I think
and that
when
was
I had asked you specifically about Selena,
yeah.
I think I had come up with the idea of doing a Gotham City Sirens show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had checked, if Alice was on board, if Abby was on board, and I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
who's gonna play Selena? And then I thought about it, and then I thought about the fact that we had just finished reading Hush.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, that's it. Because I was like, not only did I think that, you had a great voice for the character, I also thought that the three of you would have fantastic chemistry, which, look at this call. I was right. Editor, add like a tally mark chart, Logan, the universe, and then put a tally mark for me.
That's gonna go well on YouTube.
But yeah. So I just think that
I think my favorite part of me being casted was you just coming to my DMs and basically going, that one. I want that one.
Yeah. I don't know how to respond to that. I mean that's 100%. I think it's really interesting how Abby and Kiyla kind of just wandered into the roles and didn't know what they were gonna. Oh, I'm just gonna do this fun little role so we can do this, and then I was like, yeah, so you want that role, right? And then and maybe I actually came up with the idea for Sirens And then I think the first person who I had messaged was Alice. Because I have a vague memory of making the poster for Gotham City Sirens and going, okay, let me cast these characters. We already have Harley Quinn. And I think I went Ivy next because I knew that kind of the structure of the show was going to be built on her dynamic with the others. And I knew not only that Alice had the voice for it, but also that Alice had the star power to kind of lead a show like this. So yeah. Braelyn, you've
Very
been
kind
really
of you.
quiet. You've been really quiet. Let's talk a little bit about what. Let's just talk a little bit about the show, about what you're excited and what you hope for people to take from the show.
I'm just excited because, like I said, this is the first time I'm putting my work out there. But I'm excited to see how people are going to take the deep dive into the characters I want to go into. And I really want people to, once they watch this, to get a deeper understanding of each character as themselves. And especially with Harley, because I'm so tired of her and Joker, because she is so much better than him, in my opinion. And I'm really excited to see her as her own character, her going out and like doing her own stuff without without being in the shadow of the Joker and like being under whatever rose tinted glasses she has on when dealing with him. And with Ivy, I'm just excited to go into her character because, especially when I've been doing research for the writing, is she's not the most popular one, and it's usually just her like just seducing Batman and just it's plants. She just wants plants. And that's a big part of her, but I also feel like there's more, and then that there's a deeper part that we can go into. And Selena is just Catwoman in general, for me especially, was not always my favorite character. I loved her when she popped up. Whenever I read comics, I was like, cool. But I feel like, especially for me, when you see her, you just think, oh, she's a thief and she just likes to have fun. And I love that about her, but I want it to be more.
So what character has given you the most challenge to find that depth for when writing? Selena?
Catwoman, yes, completely. It's just, I love her, and I feel like she's just, she doesn't care, she's very free-spirited, she does whatever she wants to, and it's been hard writing the dynamic with her and the rest of the Sirens, her and like Batman and stuff, and just I'm really excited to deep dive into it because with her, I've been going back. I've been reading comics with her. I've been watching shows in it just to get an idea of how I want the Selena in this one to be.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what you do these with these characters. I mean, this is the first show that I'm an executive producer on it because I run the company, but I am, for all intensive purposes, a viewer looking in at the production. I'm not writing. I might direct an episode when we get there, we'll see. But, like, this is not my project. And I love that about it.
I'm excited.
So, yeah, alright. Well, I thought maybe it might be smart. I've asked you guys a lot of questions. How would we feel about maybe giving the listeners a little bit of a tease on this first episode?
Oh,
I'm so in.
my attention is captured.
Hey, what? Tease?
All right. Well, listeners, let's get into the opening scene of Gotham City Sirens.
Where are you going?
I have a date.
Oh? Who's the lucky girl?
Batman.
I'll never understand you, Selena.
No one does. But do you care to be more specific?
Playing with Batman. You really do like him, don't you?
Maybe. Jealous? It's okay to be jealous, Pam.
Don't kid yourself. I'm not the type.
Right.
You jealous?
You know I'm not. You're my best friend. Just because you're infatuated with me doesn't mean that this is anything.
First of all, Harley is my best friend. Second, I'm not infatuated.
Then what would you call it? I'll see you later.
Yeah, whenever I need a late night booty call.
You get the idea. I'm sure you'll find someone I'm just not the gal.
Maybe.
We'll see you later, yeah?
Yeah. Hey Harley, what's up?
Hey, Red. How you doing?
Fine, what's up?
Oh, well, I was feeling all lonely without my pudding, so I thought, hey, why not just call you?
You want to come over or something?
Come over? Oh, no, I was hoping we'd go out for a girls' night.
Oh, Harley, I don't really want to...
Oh, I'm right outside when you're ready to go.
Huh?
I'm throwing pebbles. Hey, Red.
Hey, you just wanted to show up without telling me you were coming?
Sorry. You have company over or something?
No. Come on in.
Ooh, I've never been to your apartment before, Red. I like it. Very planty. Ooh. You know, based on your tone, I feel like I'm intruding. Am I intruding? 'Cause I'll go.
No, you're fine, Harley. I've just been having a rough night.
Oh, I'm sorry, hun. But your night's only gonna go up from here. We're gonna go shopping and buy some clothes and perfume. Hell, maybe we can even go to the new club down the block.
I'm good, Harley.
Come on, please, Red. I never got to spend time with you no more. I miss you.
Fine, I'll go. Where the hell do you have money to go shopping anyway?
So not beating around the bush anymore. I think that I'm really excited to see Pamela's dynamic with both of them. And it's actually funny, I got the idea for this from watching Peacemaker as it's been coming out. Where we find out that one of the main characters, Amelia Harcourt, had a relationship with Rick Flag, who ended up getting killed. But you don't know about their relationship in the first season. And it adds a lot of context. And it kind of, I like the idea though of Ivy having a infatuation with Selena, and we kind of get that idea in Hush and stuff like that. And I think it's really interesting to hear that and hear kind of that the conversation that they have, and Pamela seeming like she doesn't really like she doesn't care, but she definitely cares. And I think that that's what's going to make her arc so special. And then Harley is just this sweet, bubbly friend who is definitely going to get all of them into trouble. And I think that that's just what makes all of their dynamics so fascinating. So,
yeah, I can already see that Harley is going to be prying Ivy out of her shell, and I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. But yeah. So what did you guys think?
Oh, so cute and so much
It's a lot
fun.
of fun. Yeah.
I'm
They're
really
already really interesting dynamics that I'm excited to play with.
Right.
I'm really thrilled.
It feels good to do it with a full cast.
I'm really thrilled to see you guys all in your characters reading a pilot. So yeah. Before we conclude this episode, would you guys like to give out, your socials, shout out anything that you want? This time is yours.
So my social security number is
Ivy, you can't. Ivy? No, wrong character.
I swear to God, you get a one-car chase and you keep getting. I can't. No.
You hang out together so often. Spare me the lecture.
My God, I don't even grow plants. I kill plants.
anyways.
You kill your girlfriend's plants? Harley!
No, I just
Babe,
have the headcanon that Harley Quinn is like the opposite of a green thumb. She's like the person who you give a cactus to, and she
have a black
kills
thumb.
it. Yeah.
Harley kills a cactus. Ivy, I'm gonna kill you next.
I thought it needed the water.
It said to water once a day, right?
You didn't say how much water.
Oh, sweetie, not for cacti.
Please tell me these improv sketches are staying. Please.
I'm recording.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, if anyone wants to follow
Harley Quinn
or Abby on Instagram and or TikTok, they are both My Ginger Snapple, all one word. I usually post theater stuff, flute videos, random memes, etc. I would love to chat with you. Would love to make something weird.
I'm gonna find your Instagram and comment flute on every single one of them.
Do it, I dare you.
Absolutely. I'm on my way. Lock your Instagram, I'm on my way.
Yeah. Alice?
My personal accounts, it's Alice Rose Actor everywhere. That's Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the places. My company is Second Shout Studios, also Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Come check us out and hang out with me. That would be pretty cool.
Braelyn?
I don't really got any Instagrams, guys. I gotta make one. I'll get back to you on that.
Kiyla?
My Instagram, NEXURA_, that's Nexura_. you'll probably find me posting shitty dog videos and whatever else I find cute or relatable on there when I'm not posting promotional material like the podcast posters and episode posters and stuff like that as and when I'm allowed to.
And you can follow me at Logan K. Murray on all platforms. You can follow the Sleepy Cat Films at the Sleepy Cat Films on all platforms. If you are interested in following any of our accounts, you can find all of the links down in the description box below. As well as, if you're interested while you're down there, like and subscribe. It helps us, pushes our stuff through the algorithm. If you are on Spotify, give us a follow. Comment down below of what you thought about the episode. Yeah, we love what we do here, and we're really just excited to give you guys some entertainment. So, yeah, well, with that being said, that will be the conclusion to this episode of Sleepy Cat Films, the official podcast. The Sleepy Cat Films Official Podcast is produced by Sleepy Cat Films in association with Splatsbox Studios. Executive producers from Sleepy Cat Films are Logan Murray and Harold Scott. Executive producers from Splatsbox Studios are Zipporah Williams and Aaron Shepard. This episode is hosted by me, Logan Murray. Special guests for this episode are Alice Rose, Kiyla Wallace, Abby Torrance, and Braelyn Mueller. Music by Rob Red.